Ella loved the rain. It was more than just water falling from the sky. It was a symphony of nature, a dance of droplets that brought life to the city.
The city, usually a cacophony of noise and haste, transformed into something beautiful. The rain seemed to wash away the grime and stress, leaving behind a serene, almost magical atmosphere. Today, the downpour was particularly heavy. The streets were rivers, the buildings cloaked in a misty veil, and the air was thick with the sound of raindrops. She hurried toward her usual cafe, eager for a warm drink. The thought of a steaming cup of coffee and the cosy ambience of the cafe was a comforting beacon in the storm. Her boots splashed in puddles, each step a rhythmic counterpoint to the symphony of the storm. The water danced around her feet, creating ripples that mirrored her own sense of joy. The air was alive with the scent of wet pavement and petrichor, a fragrance she found intoxicating. It was a scent that brought back memories of childhood, of playing in the rain without a care in the world. As she approached the cafe, she noticed a man struggling to fold an umbrella. The wind was relentless, turning the umbrella inside out and making his efforts seem almost comical. He was drenched, his hair plastered to his forehead. His clothes clung to him, soaked through by the relentless downpour. Ella smiled to herself, remembering her own battles with uncooperative umbrellas. She had often found herself in similar situations, laughing at the absurdity of it all. She reached the cafe door and paused, glancing back at the man. There was a moment of hesitation, a fleeting thought of offering help. He had given up on the umbrella, laughing at his own misfortune. His laughter was infectious, a bright spot in the grey, rainy day. There was something about his laughter, a certain warmth and genuineness that drew her in. It was a reminder that even in the midst of a storm there could be moments of pure, unadulterated joy. The cafe was warm and inviting, a stark contrast to the stormy world outside. The aroma of coffee beans and cinnamon filled the air.
I'll have my usual, a caramel macchiato.
Ella ordered her usual, a caramel macchiato, and found a small table by the window. From here, she had a perfect view of the rain-lashed street. She watched as people rushed by, their faces hidden beneath umbrellas. Taking her usual seat, Ella noticed something unusual. A folded piece of paper lay on the table, tucked beneath the sugar dispenser. It was a simple sheet of lined paper, folded in half. Curiosity piqued. She gently picked it up. The paper was slightly damp, the ink smudged in places. It was a note written in a hurried hand. "If you're reading this," the note began, "then fate has brought us together. Have a coffee on me. Tell the barista it's on James." The note ended abruptly, leaving Ella both intrigued and slightly bewildered.
Who was James, and why leave a note like this?
Ella glanced around the cafe, as if expecting to see someone claiming responsibility for the note. But everyone seemed oblivious, engrossed in their own conversations, or lost in their own thoughts. She reread the note, a smile playing on her lips. It was unexpected, a whimsical twist on an otherwise ordinary day. For a moment she hesitated, wondering if she should just ignore it. But there was something undeniably alluring about the unknown, the possibility of a story waiting to unfold. Ella decided to stay. She signalled the barista, a friendly young man with a cheerful disposition.
Excuse me, I think this was left for me.
She handed him the note. The barista unfolded the note, a puzzled expression crossing his face.
James? Anyone here named James?
For a moment, no one responded. Then a man at the counter turned around. He was tall, with dark, tousled hair and piercing blue eyes. A warm smile spread across his face as he saw Ella holding the note.
That would be me.
He picked up his coffee, a simple black Americano, and walked towards her table.
Hi, he said, extending his hand. I'm James. His grip was firm, his touch sending a surprising tingle up her arm.
Ella, she replied, her cheeks warming under his gaze. This is different. She gestured to the note.
To say the least, James chuckled, taking the seat opposite her. It was a bit impulsive, I know, he admitted. But I saw you come in, and well, He paused, his cheeks flushing slightly. I guess he just wanted to talk to you. His honesty was disarming.
Ella found herself drawn to his easygoing nature, his genuine interest in her. They talked for what felt like hours, the rain outside a comforting backdrop to their conversation. They spoke of books, of music, of their shared love for the city, especially on days like this.
I learned that James was a writer, his words painting vivid pictures in my mind. He had a way of weaving tales that made the characters come alive, their emotions palpable, their journeys relatable. Every sentence he crafted seemed to have a heartbeat of its own.
And I was captivated by Ella's passion for photography, her ability to capture the soul of a moment in a single frame. Her photos were more than just images, they were stories frozen in time, each one telling a tale of its own. She had an eye for detail that was simply mesmerizing.
With each shared story, each burst of laughter, Ella felt an undeniable connection growing between them. It was as if their souls were dancing to the same melody, a tune that only they could hear. The cafe was filled with the sound of their laughter, a symphony of joy that seemed to make the world outside fade away. It was as if the rain had washed away the ordinary, revealing something extraordinary in its wake. The city, usually bustling and chaotic, now seemed serene and magical, each raindrop adding a touch of wonder to the scene.
Time seemed to melt away as we talked. Hours felt like minutes, and every moment was filled with a sense of discovery and connection. We shared our dreams, our fears, and our hopes for the future.
The cafe, once bustling with the morning rush, slowly emptied. The chatter of other patrons faded, leaving just the two of them in their own little world. The rain outside created a cocoon of intimacy, making the moment feel even more special. The rain, however, showed no sign of abating. It continued to pour, each drop a reminder of the world outside, yet somehow it felt like a part of their story, a backdrop to their unfolding connection. If anything, it seemed to intensify, the sound of the downpour a comforting symphony surrounding them. The rhythm of the rain was like a heartbeat, steady and reassuring, adding to the sense of warmth and closeness they felt.
I shared my dream of writing a novel, a love story set amidst the vibrant chaos of the city. I spoke of characters who found love in unexpected places, much like we were finding a connection in this rain-soaked cafe.
And I confessed my aspiration to hold an exhibition, my photographs showcasing the city's hidden beauty. I wanted to capture the essence of the city, the moments that often go unnoticed, and share them with the world. Together, we dreamed of a future where our passions could intertwine, creating something beautiful and lasting.
As the afternoon wore on, the rain finally began to ease. Through the cafe window they watched as the clouds parted, revealing a sliver of blue sky. A faint rainbow arced across the horizon, a promise of sunshine after the storm.
It's getting late.
A hint of regret in her voice. She realized she didn't want this encounter to end.
It is.
James agreed, but he made no move to leave. He seemed to be in no hurry either, content to savor their unexpected connection. He reached into his bag and pulled out a small, leather-bound notebook.
I'd love to hear more about your photography sometime. Maybe over dinner?
Ella's heart skipped a beat. She took the notebook, her fingers brushing against his. His touch sent a familiar warmth through her.
I'd like that.
Her voice barely a whisper. She looked up at him, her eyes meeting his. In that instant, the noise of the cafe, the bustle of the city outside, all faded away. There was only James, his presence filling her senses, his gaze holding hers captive. Inside the notebook, on the first page, was his phone number, scribbled in the same hurried hand as the note. Beneath it, he had written a single line: "Looking forward to our next chapter." The words were simple, yet filled with promise. A promise of more shared moments, more laughter, more stories waiting to be told. They left the cafe together, stepping out into the glistening city, the rain creating a symphony of sounds around them. The air was fresh, cleansed by the rain, carrying a sense of renewal and possibility. The scent of wet pavement mingled with the sweet fragrance of blooming flowers from a nearby stall, creating a heady mix that was both invigorating and calming.
Holding out his umbrella. "Here, let me shield you from the last remaining raindrops. It's the least I can do."
As they walked side by side, their shoulders brushing, Ella couldn't help but smile. It felt as if the rain had washed away all her worries. The rain, she realized, had brought them together, creating a moment that felt almost magical. It was a serendipitous encounter, a chance meeting orchestrated by fate itself. They had been strangers just moments ago, but now they were connected by this shared experience. And as they walked off into the setting sun, the city lights twinkling to life around them, it felt like the beginning of something extraordinary. Ella knew that this was just the beginning of a journey that neither of them had anticipated, the beginning of a love story as beautiful and unpredictable as a rainy afternoon, filled with unexpected moments and delightful surprises. A story that was just beginning to unfold, one page at a time, with each raindrop adding a new chapter to their tale.